Dante562, what's going on, guys? Before I even get into the topic that I'm gonna talk about, which is this Rigondeaux, fight versus the very tough Poonsawat of Thailand, a former titleist, which is going to be a double header with the Donaire versus Arce fight. Before I even get into that, I want to make this really, really clear, and I'm really hoping that this resonates with some of you guys who watch my videos. I think it's very clear that you understand. If this is your first time watching my video, if you watched videos before, you need to understand that when I do these videos, I don't do fan talk. Okay? I don't do fan talk. What that basically means is, if you're the type of fan where, let's say, for example, your favorite fighter is Manny Pacquiao, and you love Manny Pacquiao, and you don't care what he does that makes him look bad, you're going to find some kind of way to defend it. And you're going to always defend it. And deep down it may be wrong. Deep down it may make him look like he's this way or he's that way. But you have so much pride that you are no longer talking boxing anymore. You're talking fan talk. You know what I'm saying? You saying to yourself, no. I know it don't look right if he's ducking this person. And I'm talking about any fighter now. I'm talking about any fighter. You have to be honest with yourself sometime. And that's what I do. I drop honesty when I do these videos. This is not about fan talk. Like I said, there's been times where, I've said something negative about fighters that I personally like, and people expect you to always side with them. But see, this is not politics though. You see, I'm not trying to knock on doors and get you to support the guy that I'm voting for. No, this is not political. And that's the problem with a lot of fans today. They let their hatred for a certain fighter dictate what they're going to type when it comes to, what they put down in these comments on YouTube. This is not what I do. Okay? Everything that I say is just real talk. You may love it, you may hate it to death, but it is reality. I am only the messenger, but I am not a cheerleader. When you do a video and you're praising a guy's performance of how great he did the past weekend, or even if you read, you go on one of these boxing websites and you read one of the many boxing writers who may say, oh, so-and-so looked great this weekend. Great jab, whatever, blah, 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 right? And then you get some stupid ass comment after the article. Oh, you're just a dick rider of that fighter. Now, is that person talking boxing? No, he's not, right? He's talking fan talk. He's talking fan talk, right? Because what he basically said when he just responded that way, he's basically saying, you're not supposed to like that guy. See, it becomes more of a like versus dislike, as opposed to who's the best, as opposed to who has the most skills, who's the projected winner against so-and-so, etc., right? That's the problem. You got these weak ass pretend to be boxing fans who don't know shit about boxing. Only thing they know is who they personally love. But you guys don't realize this shit is not American Idol. See, an American Idol or America's Best Dance Crew, shit like that, which, by the way, that used to be a show I used to like, but recently it's gotten ridiculous. And I'll tell you why. It's gotten ridiculous because it's becoming more like American Idol, where sometimes it don't even matter if you can sing or not. It just matters if people personally like that person. That's what happens in boxing now. It doesn't matter if you know how to fight or not. If you're the best, it doesn't matter how many people you're ducking. But they're going to keep voting for you because they personally like you. But the problem is, we're kind of fading away from the actual sport. 78 Fight News, he did a great video today that he just dropped. I think it was called, Floyd Mayweather and other dumb shit. And see, this is what I mean, when I give him props and saying he did a great video. See, we need more people to be honest. Like 78 Fight News, like Blood Boxing, and a whole bunch of other people that I could mention that can like a fighter, but at the same time be professional enough to say, you know what, just like I said, 78 was saying, Floyd Mayweather, he was saying Floyd Mayweather is his favorite fighter, but he has to be honest and talk about when Floyd is not doing what he's supposed to be doing. See, we need more people to be honest like this. We need more Pacquiao fans to be honest like that. We need more Canelo Alvarez fans to be honest like that. We need more Nonito Donaire fans to be like that. It's nothing wrong with being honest every once in a damn blue moon. Nonito Donaire. Look at how hard this man is ducking Rigondeaux right now. How come we have no Nonito Donaire fans that come straight out and say, you know what, man, I love Donaire. And you know what, I think Donaire is going to beat Rigo. But I have to say I am disappointed with my boy ducking this guy, because all he's doing is feeding fuel to the fire. How come we can't get any Donaire fans to be honest about this shit? How come we can't get any Pacquiao fans to be honest? How come we can't have any Pacquiao fans sit here and say, you know what? Yeah, okay, I think Pacquiao beat Bradley. But I think at the same time, Pacquiao, as much as I love him, Pacquiao should step up and he should fight Bradley and take his belt back so he can show the whole world that Bradley was never on his level, that it didn't matter if Bradley had injured ankles or not, that I can come back and I could beat him in a rematch and I can knock his ass out within 6 rounds like we predicted to do in the first fight. Fuck who won the fight. Let's clear up this mess. Because if we clear this shit up right now, there will be no reason to talk about it anymore. How come we don't have any Pacquiao fans that's willing to do that? I mean, let's be real about the situation. We see black people on YouTube all the fucking time being fucking honest as possible, right? I mean, look at the Pacquiao-Bradley situation. When that Pacquiao-Bradley situation, took place, how many videos that you see with black boxing fans that were sitting there saying, this is bullshit, this was a robbery, blah, 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 etc., 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 right? I mean, I'm just being real. How come we don't have a lot of Filipino Pacquiao fans, sitting on YouTube right now saying, this is bullshit, man. Marquez won that fight. I'm a Pacquiao fan and I love Pacquiao, but sometimes you just got to be honest. You feel me? But you know what? People don't do it because they're afraid that their cheerleading crew is going to dislike them. And once again, this is exactly what 78 Fight News was talking about in this video, that I just mentioned. You have some people that are afraid, well, most of the time it's just pride. Most of the time, the pride will not allow you to say anything negative, because as soon as you even try to push it out your mouth, you feel a pain in your chest, in your heart, and you basically say, oh, I can't do it, it's too painful. I can't do it, it's too painful. We need to get over this shit. We need to start being honest. We need to really start being honest. We need to stop making it look like boxing is just all politics. because that's how it sounds. That's how it sounds, when you go from the pack tards to the flomos, and you're basically saying, yeah, I'm basically, I represent this color. You know what I'm saying? This is my party. You know what I'm saying? And over here, this is your party. We can't be honest. We have to stick to the script. This is what politicians do, mainly Republicans. This is what they do. This is why you can't really have a conversation when it comes to politics. Because when if you tell a Republican basically something like, well, he said this 1 minute, then he turned around and said this, then he said this. It's all recorded. It's all on tape. But they don't care how much evidence you have, because their affiliation of the party that they're with won't allow them to say something honest. You have, like I said, this is why I said things are so political right now. I'm not going to try to go too political. I'm not going to try to get too political with you guys, but I will say this because it's a perfect example of what I'm saying right now. It's just like with Governor Christie from New Jersey. He's a Republican. For those of you who don't really follow the news that often, Hurricane Sandy was real big on the East Coast, and it hit New Jersey really bad, right? Now, Christie, he was given, like I said before, he was giving the president major props for responding so fast, to the tragedy that happened, unlike the response in the Katrina situation. So he's praising Obama over and over. Man, this is what a president's supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. This man is doing his job, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, the Republicans, like Bloods versus Crips, they're getting pissed off and they're upset. How dare you say something good about this man? We're trying to beat this man. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. And Governor Christie, he's like, look, man, you guys got me all twisted. Because this is my state. I care about what happens in my state. I don't give a damn about no damn politics. I want the people in my state to be taken care of. And this is what people need to start doing when it comes to boxing. It's okay if you want to be a Mayweather fan, Pacquiao fan, Donaire, whoever. But every now and then, come on, guys, let's start being honest. Let's start being honest. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, we can all have a favorite fighter. There is nothing wrong with that. But when you see things that are obviously bullshit, call it every now and then. Call it every now and then. People will respect you more as far as I'm concerned. I know it works both ways. But we got to start being honest more. We really do, guys. Now let's get into this fight that's going to happen December 15th with Mr. Rigondeaux versus Poonsawat of Thailand. Now, for those of you who don't know, Poonsawat, he's a former champion. Yeah, he hasn't lost a fight in his last, I think, 7 fights. He's never been knocked out before. Very aggressive, very good fighter. He has almost 50 fights, and I think he has a couple losses on his record. But like I said, he had one loss about 6 or 7 fights ago, and before that, he hadn't lost since like 06 or 07. Okay, this is amazing to me. The type of competition that Rigo is fighting, back to back to back. And he only has 10, 11 fights. And I know, like I said, a lot of people will say, oh, well, it's because he has so many amateur fights. But like I said, man, you guys have to understand something. Don't get it twisted. Amateur fights definitely prepare you for the pros. But amateur versus pro is 2 totally different sports. Okay? 2 totally different sports. This is the reason why I believe Rigo, a couple times he got rocked. Because like I said, you have to adjust to fighting with smaller gloves, fighting with no headgear. It changes the entire sport when you're dealing with, these different situations. And I mean, if you, like I said, man, if you just look at the type of opponents that Rigo has faced in his first 11 fights, it's astonishing to say the least. Because if you look at someone like Donaire, you look at Donaire's record, in Donaire's first 20 fights, he never fought anyone as good as Willie Casey, Rico Ramos, Poonsawat, Tion Kennedy, Roberto American. The type of opponents that Guillermo are facing, these are fighters that you intentionally duck until you become the big star, until you become the champion, and then you start to fight these type fighters. People don't normally fight these kind of fighters on the rise as a prospect, as a contender. You don't usually fight these kind of fighters, and you certainly don't fight them back to back to back. All right? Now, Rigo is finally fighting on a double header with Nonito Donaire. Guys, I really feel sorry for Donaire, because Donaire does not want to fight this man. Like I said, you can put a gun to Donaire's head and say, either I blow your damn brains out or you fight this man. And I am almost certain that Donaire would say, please blow my damn brains out. I've said this before, and I'm saying it again. This is exactly what Donaire never wanted to happen. He was hoping that Rigo would lose eventually. He was hoping that Rigo would never end up being put on a head-to-head type of card with Donaire. Because what does this do? All this does is gives Rigo even more exposure. And Max Kellerman has already put Donaire on blast when he said to Donaire, I know you hate for me to bring up the name, but here we go. Rigondeaux. When are you going to face him? When are you going to fight him? Now, Donaire already knows that if Rigo gets past this next fight, the question is going to come up again. And like I said, the fans who support Donaire, you're not doing this man any justice with these dumbass comments that you guys keep sending. Like I said, the last video I did, I had the clip of Max Kellerman putting Donaire on blast, basically saying, when you going to fight him? Donaire, he makes the mistake of saying, you know what, I'm willing to fight anybody. Anybody who wants it can get it, right? And then Max, he comes out with that question, when you gonna fight Rigo? Oh, no, I'm not fighting him. Oh, man, I got a million excuses why I don't want to fight him, Mr. Max Kellerman. That's how he replies, right? Then, of course, you get this stupid fan with this typical fan talk, talking about, hey, Donaire said he'll fight anybody, not a nobody. You feel me? Silly, ignorant shit, man. Just silly, ignorant shit. People who know the truth, but they just don't want it to happen. They don't want the truth to be revealed. Okay, I'm not saying that Rigo beats Donaire 100% hands down. Because it's possible that Donaire can win the fight. All I'm saying is, look, man, shut people up. And if you feel that you're the best, go ahead and beat the man. If you feel he's a bum, then you got even more of a reason to beat this man. Right? I mean, come on, dude. Don't tell me that you thought that Matabula and Navarez were Floyd Mayweather and Sergio Martinez, because you didn't. Right? Look, this is the bottom line. Rigo, once again, is in the fight of his life. I mean, this is a serious challenge. I know a lot of you guys don't know who this guy is, but just go ahead and just check him out on YouTube. This is a serious ass challenge. You got a man with 8 professional fights fighting a guy almost 50 fights. Former champion, battle tested, has a chin, aggressive, has technique with his aggression. I mean, this is a serious fight. This is, once again, a fighter that Donaire would never face. Donaire wouldn't face this guy, but Rigo is taking on all challenges. And I'm gonna tell you guys, realistically, hopefully it doesn't, but this may eventually cost Rigo. This may cost him because he is fighting the type of competition that opponents, or contenders or champions, they don't fight this type of competition back to back to back. So if Rigo keeps beating these fighters and then he ends up beating a top-notch fighter like Mares and Donaire or whoever is not afraid to take the challenge, you got to give this man big props, and he definitely belongs in the top 10 pound for pound, like I'd always predicted that he would eventually go. But this fight with Poonsawat, this is not an easy fight for Rigo. If he can win and beat this, if he can win this fight and beat Poonsawat decisively, impressively, man, oh man, I'm gonna tell you right now, this will be even more of a reason for Donaire to run, duck, and hide. Okay, so be on the lookout for that fight. It should be interesting. We got a lot of good fights at the end of the year. And as far as the Donaire versus Arce fight goes, it's really nothing to report when it comes to that. Because if you know anything about boxing, you know that fight is a damn joke. You know that Arce is completely tailor-made, just another cherry-picked opponent for Donaire. A small-ass, faded, little miniature Margarito who gonna run into every single punch that comes his way and get knocked out. So whatever. I'm not gonna get too deep into that. Basically, the pressure is closing in on Donaire, and Donaire he better pray to God that Rigo doesn't win this fight, because if he does, he's going to be forced into a situation or a position that he does not want to be in. All right, y'all, I'm on to the next one.